Should probably pull up Instagram too while we're doing that.
Welcome to the Undrafted, Uncensored cast of Pod. Hosted by Nick Archuleta. Mosted by Colin Zanker. And last but certainly is least, Joseph Goodwin.
Welcome in everyone to Undrafted Uncensored, where it turns out 28 seconds is all you need to get yourself fired. 28 seconds.
I don't think it was 28 seconds. I think it was the culmination of like 2 years, or it was 2 seasons,
About a year and a half-ish. Yeah, but still, I mean, it was really the 28 seconds that really was the last nail in the coffin.
Yeah, that's how you lose a job. That's how you lose a marriage. You know, it's the culmination of 2 years, but really it was just that 28 seconds.
Yeah, I mean, it just goes to show guys can go 28 seconds or they can go 9 overtimes. Whatever you want, ladies.
I believe wasn't it the 8th overtime?
It was 8th overtime, yeah.
You know,
the Ocho.
I guess it depends on the time of the day. Some like it quickly.
Yeah.
And some like the extra time.
Here at Undrafted Uncensored, we can go 28 or we can go 8 overtimes. Just depends on your performance. How
overtime.
We can even come back 28-3.
Yeah, there you go.
I was promised there would be no math.
He was just saying he can come from behind.
Yep. Back shots. Welcome.
All right.
Welcome in, everybody. Let's yeah.
It was fun on our last show. I'm sorry. It was there. I had to.
I mean, sometimes that only takes 28 seconds too. Let's not lie. Hey.
Hey-oh.
It's built up all the anticipation.
Premature ejaculation jokes.
No. Premature is in the pants.
Oh, man. Well, I mean, while we're on it, the CU and CSU did what they needed to do yesterday. They both won. CSU took them a quarter and a half to realize that, we should probably start playing. But after they started playing, they took off and walked themselves into a victory, which was very nice. CU showed up from minute 1. Where has that team been all year?
I was going to say minute 28 second.
Yeah.
Whatever it was. That was first drive, the pick.
They showed up at 28.
I didn't watch any of the CSU game at all.
I'm not surprised.
My eyes were glued on the Buffs. I kind of had a feeling that the Rams would just be. It was Fresno State, right?
No, it was.
Was it Fresno?
No, that was last week. That was.
Oh, okay.
The home of Derek Carr and Devontae Adams.
Yep. It was. Hang on, I had it pulled up. Nope, no, I don't anymore.
Well,
anyway.
Either way, I was wrapping up doing the Chiefs Raiders game, and then Mike Rice for about an hour and a half, and I walked in to our other studio at the station. I was like, "Oh, hi, Gina." Our coworker Gina was in there broadcasting game. I was like, "Oh yeah, I forgot CSU was playing." She's like, "What happened?" And she basically said the same thing. Well, they were down really big, and then they decided to show up after halftime, and now they're up 40 whatever to 30.
Yeah.
I was like, "Holy crap, that's a huge win for CSU, a huge momentum swing, having the opportunity now because they should be playing.
They're bowl eligible now, yeah.
Right? Won't they be playing Boise State?
They still have to. It depends on that UNLV Nevada game.
Oh, okay. I thought one of the games earlier decided that they were playing in the bowl game.
No,
okay,
they need UNLV to lose. Sorry, I'm getting Black Friday text messages moving my phone around. They beat Utah State last night, by the way.
Utah, that's right.
And it was one of those goofy Mormon places. So yeah, all eyes are on UNLV tonight for Ram fans. Obviously, right now the eyes are off of Arizona and transitioning over to BYU now for Buff fans. Arizona's running away with that game right now, which I mean we shouldn't have been too surprised at, I guess, but it's still frustrating.
You mean Arizona State is running away with
Arizona State's running away with it.
I'm sorry, yeah. I've been trying to root for Arizona all day, and I've had Arizona in my head because I wanted them to go down in flames.
I think we all wanted Arizona State to go down in flames. But at least for all the CU fans.
Yeah.
I just when we were doing the show last night, I was talking with Mike Rice on the show yesterday, and the thing was, he was like, Arizona State and Arizona, that's a rivalry. I'm like, but of all the games, the least likely to go the Buffs way really is Arizona State.
Yeah.
And a good thing for the Buffs is the way things broke earlier today already, because now they don't need two of those main three teams to lose. If BYU loses, the Buffs are in automatically now.
Yes.
The Buffs have made it because of Texas Tech's domination over West Virginia. I feel like that's an easier path for the Buffs.
I think so too.
Because, BYU has just not played well in the last two games. In fact, their last three, because they almost lost against Utah. The Utards were beating up the Utards, and we need Houston to go in there. For the Buffs, need Houston to go in there and beat them to give CU a berth in the Big 12 championship game and a chance to play, more than one more game, more than just the bowl game. So I like the way that this is broke for the Buffs. I'm not sure if it'll pan out, but at least there's a reason to watch these games and to pay attention to college football. With no offense to your Rams, but a team that legitimately has a shot to win a championship, to contend. So at least there's a team that we can talk about being true title contenders here. And these games mean something more than just going to one more game.
Yeah. I mean, there's no doubt about it. Boise State owns the Mountain West anyway. I mean, now that the Buffs can't go in there and shock the world. I mean, hell, look at Ohio State today losing to Michigan. Weren't they like 23-point favorites or something stupid like that?
19.5, I believe.
Okay.
I saw. It could have been at some point 23.
Yeah. And so, I mean, it's not that it can't happen. I mean, any given Sunday, we've all heard the phrase. But like you said, the Buffs not getting that benefit from Arizona State, it does seem much easier now because it's less having to worry because these are weaker teams that you're relying on or weaker teams that you're looking at that are capable of failing, especially this point of the season where, like you said, BYU's been pulling a Kansas City Chiefs basically, and when they win, it's by the skin of their teeth.
Yeah, I just feel like for the Buffs and for CU and Denver in general, I guess I should say, that this has really made a big difference in sports, because now when we're sitting here talking about the Buffs, talking about the Rams, at least these games are fun to watch. At least we care about them. I made this comparison last night that, before I might have on the Buffs or the Rams game just in the background and not really care or pay attention to it because it didn't matter. It had no effect on my mood. Not that these really affect my mood. Yeah, I'm a little angry when the Buffs lose, but it's not like it ruins days for me. But it wouldn't affect anything. It didn't move the needle, I guess is what I should say. Yeah. But now it moves the needle for me. I want to sit there and watch and pay attention. I'm not sitting here cutting up audio or changing stuff or doing demos or anything extra. Whereas before I would be researching and doing all, 2-3 different things, finding my next best parlays to win $9,000 with or whatever, I'd be doing all these other things rather than sitting focused on that game. And so I love the fact that college football is back, that these games matter, that we're sitting here at the end of November, going into December possibly, and talking about college football having a whole of a Friday, Saturday when the Broncos are in the playoff hunt. They're playing on Monday Night Football. They just got flexed to another primetime game, but we're able to sit here and actually talk about college sports. Like I said, not my forte, not something that I love, not something that I grew up watching, but I do love watching my hometown teams do well. And so I will watch them when they're doing good. And so they've made themselves relevant in this conversation again.
Yeah, well, and on top of that too, like, how long has it been since we've I mean, even when we were doing the show before we started doing it here, college football was like a 5-minute filler, like a transition from, we'll talk Broncos, then we'll see you kind of showed up today, and then it transitioned us into another segment. It was a buffer basically.
Yeah.
And now it's nice to talk about it again. And it's both schools too. It's both main schools. It's not just CU. Oh, and by the way, Air Force, that school down on I-25, they're winning a lot. It's CU and CSU, which are the main schools that everybody loves.
Well, that, and then even we have, Mines. I saw some stuff with Colorado School of Mines getting in the news again. Of course, their pictures got put back up, and so there were some tweets about
Yes.
that. It made the rounds again and went viral again. They were talking about traditions, but it's good football. But yeah, the main ones that you want to do well are, and that's the biggest thing that can help all of those other schools become more relevant, because eyes are on Colorado when you're seeing the prospects coming, even though many of the prospects from CU are obviously transfers in, they're not Colorado prospects. It's going to help get more people from Colorado going to those schools. And those eyes help grow the sport in the city, and it will make better competition through all the levels, because people will want to play for their hometown team. That's what it was like back in the 90s.
Yeah.
Even the early 2000s, you wanted to play for the Buffs because they were good. They were contenders, or they were at least in a conversation.
Yeah, and so often too, and not to knock Tad Boyle, so often more people talked about CU basketball than they did CU football. And Prime has got this club turned around. They are competitive now. There's always going to be growing pains no matter what, because it's college football. Guys are going to come in and out, especially with the NIL money now. But it's, I told my dad yesterday, I'd actually debated on going up to CSU for the game yesterday, because it was senior day, and it was a chance to watch them try and put a lock on maybe getting into the Mountain West Championship. And I haven't been to Canvas.
I've heard it's a great stadium. It looks like it from the outside. Feels like it took forever to get built.
No, it feels like forever to get up there too.
Yeah, I only went to the old one, but the old one was nice too. So I'm going to take you guys real quick on a tour of my friend's house, because I'm going to try to find somewhere a little more quiet so I can talk more.
How about we'll just take you off the screen, Joe, and then when you're settled, we'll put you back on the screen.
But
it's the distraction.
It's nice because this time of year is usually like tonight there's a WWE event, and I already have Peacock. I'm not paying it. It's like the stupid Tyson fight. I'm not paying any extra for it. So odds are pretty good. I'm probably going to just jump in at some point and watch it. But now that I've got the UNLV game, probably not going to watch it. I might later, but it's nice to sit there and get engaged in these games again. And like I told you when you were asking about the rundown, I got so lost in that Michigan-Ohio State game. Well, and then afterwards, did you see the big brawl afterwards?
I heard about it. I was actually broadcasting that game at the station, so I was listening to the announcers describe the brawl.
Yeah,
is he still moving?
Yeah, he's still moving.
It still looked like he was sat down. So I heard about the whole thing. I heard about it. And was listening to it. So I didn't watch it, but I heard the explanation from the announcers, which was almost perfectly summed it up, is what it sounded like. And I loved the response from the running back from Michigan afterwards. I don't know if you heard this part of it, but the running back from Michigan was getting interviewed afterwards on the field and said, these guys need to learn how to take an L. We had 60 minutes to fight in the game, and it should have stopped there. And so they need to learn how to take that loss. It's a very, I want to say it's kind of a low blow. Well, it is a low blow to them in a lot of ways, because Michigan is Michigan's kicked ass, but it's just really funny that, if the shoe was on the other foot and someone said that and it was your team, it would be rough. But I thought that was a very funny statement from the Michigan running back saying, well, these guys need to learn how to take a loss. We had 60 minutes to fight in this game, and we got to leave it there.
Yeah, I did see that. I was kind of torn because at first I was like, yeah, you need to learn how to take a loss. But at the same time, I'm like, you guys are trying to plant your flag in the middle of their stadium at the 50-yard line. What did you expect? I mean, I probably would have, if I was one of those Buckeyes, I probably would have had the same reaction. No, get that shit off my field.
Well, yeah, it's dangerous. Like, come on, man. You're going to create a divot. Someone's going to, hit their foot. They're going to tear an ACL. Like, that's just attempting sabotage, really.
No, you stop them if you don't want them to plant the flag,
win the game.
And, we've shown that it doesn't matter who it is. If you're acting like an idiot, you're going to pay for it. Look at the Cal equipment manager going and tackling home dude who tried to steal the helmet last week.
Oh, yeah. That was awesome. I was like, oh, man.
If you're doing something you're not supposed to do, then, you'll get paid for it. You'll get the repercussions. If you try and plant that flag after a loss, yeah, you're going to get hit. But you know what? You beat them. You're staking your claim on your territory because right now you just pissed all over their field and you own it. Yep. So I'm sorry, Ohio State. He's very right in what he said.
Michigan owns you right now.
Yeah, Michigan owns you. Much like the Broncos had to sit there and let the Chiefs take over, the Raiders take over for a long time in this stadium, and it sucks. It's not fun, but do something about it if you don't want it to happen. And I believe in what he said. You had 60 minutes to fight out. I don't care about some pushing and shoving and stuff like that.
No.
But when what it turned into was bad. And even when you look at the Notre Dame USC game today, I mean, home dude at Notre Dame just straight up clocked one of the USC linemen in his helmet. And boom, like a full fist, full force. I don't know how his hand survived. I mean, he's got to have some Toradol running through there right now.
Wow.
Because his head, the USC guy was on the ground and he just popped him and his head snapped back. So he hit him hard. And it was in the middle of the game. I mean, I'm not saying that should be accepted in the game, but you do it there, you do it inside those lines. And afterwards, it is what it is.
Yeah, right, Joe? It looked like you saw a ghost for a second there.
Yeah, I think someone might have left the dog outside while they all go in upstairs to eat dinner.
Oh, okay.
But I did find a pretty good spot. Turns out, when the entire Thanksgiving's worth of people is going to go right above your head, the garage where everyone usually hangs out is actually a pretty good spot. Yep, that's the dog. I'm going to go let him back in.
Well, I mean, BYU starts here at 8:15 tonight. We don't care about the Arizona State game anymore. And what was the other one again?
Iowa State.
Iowa State. That's right. That one's
really, in all honesty, right now, with Arizona State winning, the only game that matters is BYU to the Buffs.
Okay. So that's an
because if Iowa State loses but BYU wins, it doesn't matter.
Okay.
However, if BYU is the key now in this cog, because the Buffs in the first scenario needed 2 out of the 3 to lose. Which was Arizona State, BYU, or Iowa State. And now it's Arizona State not looking like it's going to happen. Iowa State doesn't matter. Whatever happens in that game happens. It's BYU or bust for the Buffs.
Yeah, they'll play Houston. We saw Houston earlier, and we've seen what they're capable of. We'll see what they bring to BYU tonight. Like you said, BYU's been having a rough time as of late, so hopefully they could just keep that trend up for one more game.
Yeah. One more down game for the Cougars against the Cougars would be nice.
Yes.
Cougar on Cougar crime.
Damn it, you beat me to it.
Is that starring Monica from Friends?
Yes.
Was it Cougar? I want to say Cougar.
Cougarville. Cougar
Monica
Town.
from
Cougar
Friends
Town.
and Stifler's mom.
Cougar Town.
Yeah, and Stifler's mom, who has somehow stayed more relevant than Monica from Friends.
She's been out of the limelight though a lot. I mean,
No,
Dude,
she's
how much
on.
money
She's
do you
on the
how much money do you think she's
Oh,
still
Mom.
making on that show?
Oh, Monica. Oh, I thought you were talking about Stifler's mom. I was like, no.
No,
Yeah, dude, she's got all these commercials about like doubling down and shit. I haven't seen Courtney Cox in a commercial. I had to think about what her name was for a minute. I called her Monica from Friends at first.
yeah, most people know
that's
that.
yeah.
But, Stifler's mom still has it going on.
Oh yeah.
Stifler's mom has got it going on.
Speaking of still got it going on, I gotta touch on this real quick, only because it really, really, really pissed me off. How was that not a false start in Kansas City? How was that an illegal shift?
People have
It was
been
not
saying
an
that
illegal
about Jawan
shift.
Taylor for like 2 years now. How is that not a false start? Almost every play. Like at this point, I feel like the refs are desensitized to it, and he's still the most penalized offensive lineman in the league. It's infuriating.
False starts happen after 28 seconds. I don't really care anymore. You know what? I'm tired of bitching and moaning about the fact that the Chiefs are getting away with these things. It's the same thing as we just talked about with Ohio State and Michigan. Just beat them. You know what? I know that all these things are happening in their favor, and it feels like everything is going in their favor, and a lot of times it is. But you know what? They're the two-time defending champs. They have, I mean, not the MVP, but they have a perennial MVP candidate. They are one of the, if not the best coach teams in the NFL. They're gonna get those calls, and they're gonna get it set up. And I understand where the frustration is coming from, but you don't leave it up to that point in the game.
See, but for me, go ahead.
I mean, it's tough. You don't leave it to that point in the game, or you don't let it get there. And this is, the Broncos. The Broncos had the same thing. They gave enough leeway to a team that is better than them. And while the Broncos should have won that game, they didn't. They gave too much. They gave too much of an opportunity to a better team. The Raiders gave too much of an opportunity to a better team. You have to be on your game for the whole 60 minutes. You can't take any time off against the Chiefs. And once you do, they take advantage or they get the calls to go their way.
See, my problem is my frustration comes from the fact that they should have lost to the Raiders. It was hilarious because it was Cooper Rush.
No, Cooper Rush is Cowboys.
Well, Cooper Rush is Dallas.
Aiden
O'Connell. Sorry, there were a lot of backup quarterbacks this weekend.
Dude, it was Drew Lock. They almost lost.
I mean, I'm just it was a false start. Then I would die of laughter because the Kansas City Chiefs just lost to the Las Vegas Raiders in Kansas City, and I would probably still be laughing about it at this moment. That's all I want. I just want to laugh at the Chiefs.
But
the intro song starts and Nick can't stop laughing. Welcome in, just can't do it.
Well, this goes back to the other point that I was saying, though. You missed 2 field goals. Daniel Carlson missed 2 50-yard field goals. So even if it was a false start and the time stopped, there's no guarantee that that he's going to hit that field, that they're going to get a field goal anyways. Okay.
He was.
Whatever. I mean, we've seen them already block one at the game and at the final buzzer, whatever. There's no promise, especially the way that game went. This is the Raiders had a lot of chances. They held the Chiefs. They did a great job. This is every team giving the champions their best shot. We've seen this with the Nuggets, with the Avs.
Mm-hmm.
It's been a while since we've seen it with the Broncos, but they're giving them their best shot every week. And they're withstanding all these punches. So you had your chances and you blew it far before that call. That's what it comes down to. It wasn't that final play, which is why I said you have to play the whole 60 minutes against the squad, because those little lapses are what's going to cost you. And this time, 2 field goals, you let the Chiefs go down and just kick a field goal to take the lead. Your own damn fault. Your own damn fault, Raiders.
Jerks. Took away all my humor. All I wanted was a win. That's all I wanted. I thought now Davis said all we do is win. Come on.
I mean, yeah, you have to play for a full 59. You can't play for 59 minutes and 32 seconds, guys. That 28 seconds counts.
Counts in someone's book.
Sorry, Colin. I know you thought there'd be no math, but
59, 32. Yeah, that adds up.
So how are we feeling about Monday?
Good.
I got to work.
Is Jameis gonna bring his Jesus power with him and talk about how he's lucky to play in the 32-degree weather that's going to be there on Monday night?
He can bring his Jesus power with him, but he's still going to have Jerry Judas out there.
Oh, I like what you did there, Joe.
Look what you did there. That was awesome.
Jerry Judas. I mean, sitting there really thinking about this, it's basically he's gonna throw an interception. I actually shoot. I need to look at that. Surtain's gonna shut down Judy. So they're gonna not let him do anything. And now Tillman is out for this Monday night's game too. So they're relying on Elijah Moore, I believe, is their other wide receiver that is there.
Yeah, remember when we thought he was gonna be good?
Yeah,
with the Jets. This passing game, the Broncos really have to worry about Nick Chubb, who hasn't looked himself, which nobody looks like themselves coming off an ACL or a broken leg or anything like that. And his was really bad. Unless your name was Adrian Peterson, you don't look the same coming back that quickly. And so,
or Phillip Rivers, because he always looked like he had a torn ACL, so it didn't really matter.
yeah, he didn't move that well. Cedric Tillman, Elijah Moore, and Jerry Jeudy, your starters.
Tillman's out. Tillman's out with the concussion.
So it's Jamari Thrash, or Jalen Darden.
Their wide receivers don't scare me. I sit here and it's okay. Don't let Nick Chubb look right in this game. That's really the only thing you got to remember. This Browns team has run all over the Broncos a bunch of times. Dearness Johnson did it. Obviously,
dude, I was going to bring that one up. That was one of my favorite times. We were in the media school. It was the first year that Nick and I were in the fantasy league, and I was my team was trash, and I'm sitting there and I'm like, you know what? My running backs suck right now. I think, and I had a bye week too. And I don't trust Vic Fangio's defense. I'm picking up the third string running back for the Browns, Dearness Johnson, because Chubb and Kareem Hunt were both out. And I won that week. It was pretty sweet.
Yeah, it's kind of the Broncos are rewriting history in a lot of ways this year, or at least a lot of the books. And so I don't want this part of the Broncos history against the Browns to repeat themselves. If the Broncos can stop the running game, Jameis is going to throw some picks in this game. I think that's a foregone conclusion because Judy is going to be demanding the ball. He's in Jameis.
He's going to
telling him
he's
that
going
he
to put on a
wants to
show
go
on
off.
Monday night.
Oh, he's going to run so many crisp routes and not get the ball thrown to him. It's going to be awesome.
Or he'll drop it when it hits his hands.
There you go. Yeah, the route's going to be so clean, and then he just
Yeah. So I feel good about this game. The defense is playing great. The offense feels like it's doing everything right besides the running game. Which is a part of it. At least the running backs. I shouldn't say the running game because Bo Nix in the running game is pretty damn good. Once again, you look at this on paper, it feels like the Broncos are easily going to blow the Browns out.
I think you can say the running game has been bad, though. I mean, Javonte had negative yards and Estime had 3 carries. That's a problem with the running game as a whole, with the coaching staff, with play calling. substitutions, all of it. Like that's, I think the Broncos running game, I think you can say is an issue because the only positive you've got really is Bo Nix. And then every week, one guy seems to go off, never for a ton, but last week it was Jaleel. He went as off as any of the other guys could have gone, you know.
Well, that's why I corrected myself. I went from the running game to the running backs.
Yeah.
Because Bo has been. I mean, we never saw this. I never saw this happening for Bo Nix. This amount of ability in his running game. I don't think you guys thought he had this ability as far as being a mobile quarterback to this extent.
No, my comp was Alex Smith, a guy who has surprisingly good ability to run, but it's not like his. I also love the quote. It's not a good comparison, but you know, calling him Vanilla Vic.
yeah, not quite. I would love it if that were true. Oh my goodness!
Right?
Well, if that were true, I would have been on the bandwagon a lot earlier.
So Judy, the last 5 games. Oh, sorry. Go ahead and finish, Colin.
No. I was just. It was just more about Bo Nix. Go ahead with Judy.
25 for 42. So 25 receptions, 42 targets for 397 yards. So he's averaging 16 yards a catch and 1 whole touchdown. 1 whole touchdown.
In his last 3?
5.
No, I thought he had 2 last weekend or 2 weekends ago.
No, he had 1 against New Orleans, and that's it.
Okay.
I
thought his big 140-yard game that he had 2 touchdowns.
No, he only had 1, 6 for 11, 142 yards, average of 23 yards a catch. 1 touchdown. His longest was 89 yards.
Yeah, that was his long bomb touchdown. So
yeah,
no, you're good. I just thought that there was, like I said, I thought there was a 2 touchdown game in there. So
no, he has 2 touchdowns on the season. That's probably what you were thinking.
Yeah, I was about to say, I'm looking at it right now. Yeah, he's got 2 TDs total this year
on the season.
Yeah,
I mean, it's a good thing you wanted out of Denver so quickly.
Well, okay, but you're saying
get out of Denver, Judy.
Well, yeah, but he has 2 touchdowns on the season. What, 8 weeks of it was with Amari Cooper there and Deshaun Watson. Let's not pretend like that offense was moving the ball then. The other few weeks it was Cedric Tillman until Tillman got hurt. And then it's been Jerry Jeudy's chance the last 3 weeks, basically. So
yeah, he's had a bunch of games of like 27 yards, 16 yards, 18 yards, and then starting week 8 in Baltimore, it's 79, 73, 142, 85. So he's come on and been kind of decent, which he kind of did the same shit when he was here. Like, yeah, when Courtland Sutton's hurt, Jerry Jeudy might go off for a few games here and there. You know, when he's getting all of the attention, yeah, he'll make some catches and he'll put up some empty stats. How many of those games did he put up good yards into the Browns win?
Well, and not that was going to be my next point too. Is Jerry Jeudy is kind of known for this, like doing well in meaningless games.
Yeah,
and the
garbage
Browns,
time, Jerry.
Yep, we saw this at the end of seasons. It's like, well, if Jerry Jeudy continues this next year, and guess what? It never continued next year. So. Does he have the ability? I think we all saw and knew that he had the ability here when he was in Denver. The problem was that he never fulfilled that promise.
It gets in his own way.
Yeah. So is it possible is there a realm that I see Jerry Jeudy going off on the Broncos and, you know, him beating the Broncos' ass? Yeah, of course, because he's talented. But that is far outweighed by the likelihood of Surtain and Moss and this Broncos defense just stopping their passing game and getting to the pass rusher. Nick Bonito getting some sacks. It's just the Broncos defense is playing that good that I don't think that Jeudy is going to be the one that beats them.
Well, Jameis is a Sean Payton guy too, so you know Sean Payton's already planning for how to counter anything that Jameis might be bringing to the table anyway.
You think there's some jersey swaps and one guy wears the number 6 and another guy wears 66 and they just stand by each other on the defensive end. So there's 666 across from Jameis Winston.
Yes.
With a screw with his head. I
Oh,
don't
I
know.
would love it.
Okay, 1 game jersey swap for
Oh,
this
that'd
one.
be
I don't even
beautiful.
know. I don't even know who 66 is on the Broncos. Or
Oh,
if they have a 66. I know 69 is McGlinchey.
McGlinchey's, yeah. I think there's a
Is
line.
it at the belly, Quinn Minor? Is he
No,
66?
he's 77.
Okay, because that's I'm thinking of Tom Nalen. Normally is 66, right?
Yes.
But I just I think
Yeah.
I think that would be kind of a great little ploy to have that happen.
That's up there with like Anthony Black and Grady Dick switching doing the jersey swap. So just said Black Dick.
Nobody's wearing 66 right now. It looks like
So it's free. And then
numbers available.
number 6.
PJ Locke's wearing 6.
Oh, okay. Well, Locke is out for the game, though, isn't he?
Crap,
Is he
I just
still
had that
out?
pulled up.
Yeah, I was gonna say if you can go back to the injury report. I don't know if.
Yeah, give me a
that's
sec. I had it.
possible,
I had it pulled up, and
So we just need Jay Cutler
scratch
to attend the game and bring a jersey. We'll have 3 6s.
PJ Locke, unspecified is what it says for game status. So you've got Zach Allen, John Franklin Myers, Brandon Jones, PJ Locke, and Bo Nix. All is unspecified. Josh Reynolds is questionable with his hand, and Riley Moss is out.
Riley Moss is out still?
Yes, still did not participate in practice.
Okay, that kind
with
of
his
sucks.
knee.
Well, I mean, so let's just give Jonathan Cooper 66 for the game and put PJ Locke in there in the box and scare the crap out of Jameis.
I love it. Nothing makes me happier than.
Do we have a 67 so we can have the neighbor of the beast?
No, we have 60, 63, and 69. So Luke Wattenberg, Alex Palczewski, and Mike McGlinchey.
All offensive line.
I mean, it still would be the neighbor of the beast. It's just a few doors down. Can we get a 3 doors down of the beast?
Oh God.
I don't know. I sit here and look at what the Browns have become, and they made their own bed.
They did.
Much like what I felt like the Broncos did with Russell Wilson. It just turned the other way for the Broncos. Thankfully, being able to, get moving on from the player that really caused, a lot of issues here in Denver and Russell Wilson. Not that he was the only thing wrong. There were years of issues that built into this. But Russell Wilson was the nail in the coffin. And the Browns just haven't moved on from their issue, which is really Deshaun Watson. And I still have, I guess I'm still kind of torn with Stefanski. I think he's a decent coach.
Yeah, I think he's a good coach. I think he's been given a fucked situation. He got given actually a pretty decent team, and then they fucked it. And they gave all that money to Deshaun Watson. So I'd say, I'd go a little further. I don't think that Russell Wilson and Deshaun Watson were the nail in the coffin. I think they're the fucking coffin. Like, they're big deals for these teams. And I think the Broncos have shown that you can move on and you can do something else. So the Browns may be looking to kind of follow suit in a sense, but they're more fun. They're going to have to do it with Deshaun Watson on the roster. Well, they can't afford to let him go. So, like, I don't know. Can they practice squad him?
Yeah, that's gonna be fun.
Well, no one's gonna pick him up.
Can you imagine being a Browns fan though, and you go and your team brings on Deshaun Watson, and Baker Mayfield's over there in Tampa Bay, just picking up the sloppy seconds of Tom Brady and still winning.
Yeah, and looking damn good.
Yeah, I'm so glad he went to Tampa and actually succeeded, because I was saying he's a better quarterback than what he's showing. Wow. And everybody laughed at me. No, he's a Browns quarterback. He's just going to Tim Couch and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, no, he's got some talent.
Yeah, I know I've been one of the few that was a Baker Mayfield fan kind of from the start. Like I was rooting for him. I don't know necessarily why, but I was cheering for him.
He was
and
just
I
that guy.
about he had the ability, and I liked the way he played.
He was such a hard worker. That guy literally lived at the stadium.
He literally lived there, and he knew everybody's name too, which was great.
Yeah.
Man of the people.
Yeah,
So I was
still the amount of
I was a
groceries he
Baker
took home,
Mayfield.
he was giving that to somebody else.
Yeah, I was definitely a Baker Mayfield fan, and still am in a lot of ways. And I just, the Browns, but that's another thing. Like they moved on from Baker Mayfield, who led them to their first postseason. They won one game with Baker, right? I want to say they won one game. I know he led them to the postseason, but I'm
did.
pretty sure he won one game, and they just decided to move on and not pay him. They didn't pay that man his money.
No, they did not.
Yeah, speaking of the Browns, paid a man.
Well, I'm excited. It's it's been a while since the Broncos have had a legitimate primetime game that they're playing in that we can be excited about. Predictions?
Nope. Primetime.
I forgot about that. We can still do predictions without. We already know who we're all going to pick anway. It's going to be.
I know, but it's still in the victory.
Fine.
Didn't we discuss this like last week? Only when the Broncos are in prime time will we save it for victory formation.
Yes, but I still like being a pest. All right, fine. We'll move on to the
every
Nuggets.
time they're not in prime time, you ask me, "Oh, is this in victory formation?" Then today,
I like to make sure.
Just go ahead and predict it.
I like to make sure.
Not today.
No, not today, because I'm excited for Monday night.
The one time.
Hey, Carrie Underwood said we've all been waiting for Monday night.
The time that they are in prime time, you just skip.
I don't know. Hank Williams III said, "I've been waiting all day. Are you ready for some football?" I forgot to remember which one it was.
Monday night party.
I just looked it up too. Baker Mayfield beat the Steelers.
Thank you.
Yeah. I mean, it's probably Kenny Pickett.
No,
Big Ben.
Oh, like later Big Ben, like when he was throwing it like 2 yards a pass.
Yeah, it was probably one of their 10-0 starts or whatever that they were just paper tigers.
So the Nuggets have a few days off finally to figure out what kind of team they want to be, I guess. They did what they needed to do to Utah. They beat the brakes off of them after the first half. And I was kind of shocked the Joker came in for the last couple minutes, but it is what it is. I'm not Michael Malone.
No.
Huh?
You know why he came in for the last few minutes? It's because of the despicable performance the game before.
Well, yeah, that's kind of what I thought. And that was kind of what I was hoping to spark some conversation about, because that was kind of what I assumed. Like the starters were all back out there for that garbage time. And I was like, well, yeah, because it's either that or run wind sprints.
Well, yeah, they didn't deserve to not be out there after the fucking defense they played. So, yeah, I'm all for Michael Malone pulling his Kurt Russell impression and just making you.
I don't really have a problem with it, because I don't think anything can happen on any play. Sure, anyone could have gotten injured, but you also have to send a message. You have to send a message to your team as well, that nobody is above that loss in the performance the game before. That just because you went out and dominated a Jazz team that is terrible, you don't deserve to. It doesn't erase what happened beforehand.
Yeah,
and that it doesn't matter if you're Jokic, MPJ, Jamal Murray, Christian Brown. It doesn't matter who you are. You're going to play these minutes because these games are important, and it's important for everyone to see that. Now, do I want that happening all year long after another bad loss? No, but it's early in the season. You need to send a message to everybody. And so I have no problem with Malone doing it. And I really liked how after Jokic made his free throw, he's like, all right, I'm fouling you now. I'm fouling you and I'm walking to the bench. I'm not even looking at Malone. I know I'm done now. Like, that was the best part about it. Michael Malone starts to send in all the reserves. Jokic is at the line. He sinks his second free throw. They inbound the pass. He fouls the guy, and he just turns and walks to the bench. So Malone is sending the guy in. It is what it is. But that's the message. Jokic got his job done at the line. I bet you if Jokic missed that free throw, he's not fouling right away either.
Mm-mm.
And Malone's not letting him come out. He's
No.
making him stay there at least another possession. I think I like that message.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, especially after the comments of Jamal Murray after the fucking horrible loss, or that was the same loss, wasn't it?
Yeah.
When he goes, well, it's a long season. A lot of guys got lives outside of basketball. I don't give a fuck this early in the season how long the fucking season is. It's game like 15. I mean, come on. You can't be tired already. And if you're like pacing yourself because you're expecting to maybe get tired, you're still not even in shape because you're one of those guys that gets out of shape on purpose before the season starts so they can play themselves into shape and not play too hard and then lose a bunch of weight at the end of the season, which I would appreciate if it didn't end up with the beginning of the season feeling like ass every single year and it feeling like the Nuggets just do not care about the regular season at all, which I don't want to care about it too much, but if you completely disregard it, then you're not building the chemistry. You're not finding the rotation. You're not discovering that Thomas Bryant shouldn't play and that Reggie Jackson shouldn't play and that your rotation should just be Jeff Green and Bruce Brown and Christian Brown. Like, you're not going through those things. Like, we don't even know what the fuck Saric is. Like, and to just have that.
Timing.
And especially, yeah, right. And especially after what he said with, we just beat the Lakers a couple nights ago, and that was great. So, everyone just wants to freak out. Like, no, you don't get to just suck and lose just because you won the previous game. I don't care what happened yesterday when you fucked up today.
Well, and I think that was Malone's message, but that's also the thing that frustrates me is that, yeah, it's a long season, and we've talked about this, but you lose these games, and then you're trying even harder at the end of the season, expending way more energy than you need to end up in a tie.
Trying to play catch up.
Yeah.
Well,
I don't want the Nuggets to be in that situation again, or the Avs.
On a positive note, just so we can at least have a positive note, Christian Brown is the only Nugget so far to score in double digits every game. So
I think I brought that up on Tuesday or Wednesday. That's okay.
I heard it again, and so I'm just emphasizing it. Okay, Colin?
It's still true.
Yeah.
So my buddy walks through the garage and just quickly drops Jamal Qaeda and then walks away.
Christian,
CB's like the only one that's been playing.
I said this before, and I said it after the Olympics. I'm not as worried about the Nuggets because they
Speaking of sweet Nuggets related stuff, I got the championship T-shirt right here on my boy Petey.
NBA champions, baby.
Oh,
let's go, Yoke.
But yeah, not as worried about the Nuggets just because they have Jokic and what he did in the Olympics. And I also wasn't as worried about losing KCP because of Christian Brown's work ethic.
Yeah,
and he's proven that he deserved his opportunity.
He's taking full advantage of it, and I love it. It's everybody got worried about his defense and everything. He's improving and continues to improve, and next step is going to be try and become a leader of that team because other than Joker, I don't think anybody else really wants to lead right now. So
that's on the court. AG does.
Yeah, that's true. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to forget AG. It's hard to remember him when he's out with an injury and out of sight, out of mind, kind of. And then real quick, Avs made a change of goalie. They decided to trade Juice to Nashville for a 6th rounder and a career backup.
Cool. Someone who knows how to play backup goaltender.
Yeah, he's just below the NHL average of goals against. He's giving up his save percentage, is 9.08. NHL average is 9.15. So just a hair below. Fun fact, though, it's Scott Wedgwood that they traded for. He was once traded for Darcy Kemper. So just fun fact, he was traded to Arizona for Darcy Kemper.
Nice. Well, hopefully he can put a little wedge in the problems that the Avs have had at goaltending, and it would be nice.
Only problem is he's 32, Juice is 24. I mean, if you're a career backup, I'm assuming your career lasts a little bit longer. But
I mean, technically, yeah, look at Josh McCown. But the biggest issue that you guys are both overlooking is that we can't say double dipperoo anymore, and I'm upset.
Yeah, we can still use
double dipperoo.
Yeah, we can still double dipperoo it.
But that was juice. That was the juice that was loose that said it. You can't just say quotes from like players that aren't here anymore.
We say playoffs all the time.
Right? I think we can still use it, but what I will say too is that this is the Avs. They're gonna give Georgie the shot to play every game because Eustace was taking useless starts away.
He was making me look bad.
Georgie.
Stupid dog.
I just and I think this just speeds up the process for the Avs bringing in someone else. I don't care that.
Go ahead, finish that first.
I don't care the fact that he's older, an older backup. Like, fine. I really don't care because the goal at the end of the day, for me, in my opinion, is to let Georgie go sink. The Avs to realize they need to bring in another goaltender, put him out there all these games, see what happens with the roster, and whatever they can do to bring in someone else. Like that's what I want because I don't think Georgie's bringing the Avs anywhere near a cup. No matter how good he played last year at times, and you can say
that he has this year.
They are such they're flashes. They're flashes in the pan. They go away very quickly. He's never been consistent, so I can't rely on him to be consistent in the playoffs. So whatever it takes for the Avs to move on, cool. Put Georgie in net every single day for the next 3 weeks, and let's see what happens with the Avs. Maybe that forces their hand to finally get someone else in here.
Did you seriously quote Courage the Cowardly Dog?
I was going to say, yes, I did.
Okay. I was listening to Colin, and like your comment like sat there for a second because I was waiting for him to finish, and I was like, wait, that was Courage.
Stupid dog. Well, yeah, his name's Eustace. Have you ever heard of another person named Eustace ever in your life?
No. You know what I have heard, though? Colin likes to take over at this time.
This is the victory formation.
All right, boys, here we go. Best play in football. 6 right tight diamond victory on 1. Break.
Okay, 3, 2, 1, it's jam.
The Pick'em segment proving that Colin Zanker is the most humble man in the history of time. Least. Featuring Nick Archuleta wishing he was somewhere else. And Joe Goodwin just kind of winging it.
That's right. It's the victory formation here on Undrafted, Uncensored, where we take real bets and put fake money on them and keep track of it to see who wins out in the whole year, or who ends the year with the highest total winnings. Last week, 2 of us went 4-0. 1 of us went 2-2. It's pretty easy. It'll be pretty easy to figure out after the second game because first game we chose was the Bears versus the Lions. We all chose the Lions, not a curse, as they hung on to that game with 28 seconds left to win. And Matt Eberflus lost his job because of it. We all won 12-13 for that one. We move on to the Giants versus the Cowboys. Giants got the first touchdown of the game. And the only thing I was happy about was them scoring 7 extra points in the second half, because that won me another bet when I said the Broncos and Giants would both score 7 points in each half. But it also, with the Cowboys winning that game, it also won me and Nick that pick. Won 15-88 there. The big win of the week, by the way, was 15-88. Next, we move on. Packers and Dolphins. Packers dominated Miami. Should have known it was cold in Green Bay, and so Miami should have just not even taken their flight or gotten off the plane. Me and Nick chose the Packers. Joe chose Miami, and then we all chose the Chiefs and won $1.43 on that bet, meaning both Nick and I won 55-15 this week. Joe, you won $3.56.
Whew.
And with the $55 win, I move into first place at 972.46. Joe, you're back in second at 854.49. Nick, you're almost back over 900 or to 900. I don't know if you got over 900, but you're almost to 900 at 889.35. Let's see if you can break that seal this week. We're going to start things off with Sunday night football. On Sunday night football, we have the 49ers versus the Bills. 49ers dogs heading into Buffalo at plus 205. Bills favored at minus 250. Nick, who you got?
San Francisco's still trying to figure everything out. God knows if Christian McCaffrey's even going to play for San Francisco anymore. Dude, it feels like he's always getting hurt. So give me the Bills.
Joe, who you got?
Yeah, it's Buffalo, man. They're just not as hurt. Brock Purdy missing last week. Our boy Brandon Allen getting the start out of nowhere because who the fuck else do they have? They don't have anybody else a backup quarterback. I guess they let Darnold go, so that's how it goes. But yeah, man, it feels like they're taking their like perennial off year and then they'll be great next year.
In the news, Brock Purdy apparently practiced this week, and by practiced, he threw one pass, and that was it. Give me the Bills in this game. Clean sweep.
Like a Shanahan offense.
That's the Lonely Island. Still counts.
Clean sweep for the Bills. Next, we move on to another Sunday game because since we have the Broncos-Browns game for Monday night, we got to do another good Sunday game. It is the Eagles versus the Ravens. This one's in Baltimore. A close contest. Eagles plus 120 road dogs. Ravens minus 142 home favorites. Joe, who you got?
Fuck, it's the battle of the premier running backs that everyone thought you shouldn't take in fantasy, and then it turns out that you absolutely should have taken in fantasy. I don't know, man. I feel like both of these teams are disappointing, and like they're really good, but at the same time, like I could see either of them losing to the other one. Fuck. Let's take the Vic Fangio defense and the Eagles to do something. I don't know, pick off Lamar Jackson, not blitz, I guess.
You are right in both of these running backs. It's a bad year to say the running back shouldn't get paid because two of the top teams in the NFL have great running backs. And I'm going with the Ravens there at home. It's tough to choose between either of these teams, but I'm just going with the home team here. Nick, who you got?
This is a coin toss here. I think I trust King Henry a little bit more than I do Saquon, so I'm going to go with the Ravens.
There goes Nick following my lead again. We move on to Monday Night Football, Broncos versus Browns. Obviously, I'm taking the Broncos in this one. I don't know if anyone is taking the Browns in this one. If so, see your piece. All right, clean sweep for the Broncos there. In the real one that we will do a pick for here, or not NFL, we'll move on to the NHL. The Senators versus the Ducks, Sunday night hockey. Minus 155, Senators a favorite over Anaheim in Anaheim at plus 130. Ducks are 9-10-3. Senators are 10-11-2. Nick, who you got?
I thought the Senators were better than that, but I still don't trust Anaheim. They're still growing and not that good. And I thought that Orange was going to be better, so give me the Senators.
He takes the Senators. Joe, who you got? Senators or Ducks?
God, I wish I had a hockey stick right now so I could just go quack, 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 quack. Yeah, it's the fucking Ducks. Come on, man. Did the Senators get a Disney cartoon where they were all superheroes? I don't fucking think so.
I am actually going with the Ducks also at home as the underdogs. So quack, quack, flying V. And we fly right into the last pick'em of the week as it is the Lakers versus the Timberwolves on Monday night cup game. Lakers 11-8, Timberwolves 9-10. Joe, who wins this one? No odds yet since it's Monday.
only one of those teams has my favorite player in the NBA. I am taking Lou Dort and the Oklahoma City Thunder for no actual reason.
I said Lakers, Timberwolves.
I heard Thunder Timberwolves.
No,
I said
Lakers.
Lakers, Timberwolves.
Oh, well, that sucks. I don't care.
So
now.
neither of these teams have.
Oh.
That's
Lou
why I was
Dort.
groaning, because it's the Lakers.
Well, I don't. T-Wolves, fuck it.
He's taking the Timberwolves. I am actually. I'm going to take the Timberwolves too here. I switched this up at the last minute. I think that some of the comments made by the Timberwolves the other day might spur them in the right direction, especially playing at home. Nick, who you got?
I don't know. I hate both teams.
We all do.
I'm going to. I don't want to clean sweep this one too. I'll be the odd duck. Give me the freaking Lakers.
He's taking like, oh, I typed my name in there, not yours. Oops, I better fix that one. Like I said, I was kind of picking the Lakers beforehand, but I was torn in between that when I saw it. Oh, well, I guess since me and Joe are the only ones that are going to be feeding the Ducks this weekend.
I don't like feeding ducks. Causes bad habits. And
it's because you're not 80 years old, Nick. Once you turn 80, you're going to feed ducks.
I don't know. We'll see. Maybe I'll go to the zoo one day, and I don't know. Anyway, thanks everybody for joining us today. Thank you for watching us on whatever platform you are. If you're watching us afterwards, Colin really wants to say something right now, so
I'm not gonna.
Like, you have to go to the zoo to see ducks? Like, they're not just all fucking over the place?
There's a joke, and I'm not sure I could deliver it correctly at this moment in time.
Okay, yeah, don't do that then. Don't kill the joke.
I'm not gonna.
Don't kill the joke.
I'm not gonna throw it out there.
Thank you everybody for tuning in today. We appreciate you. Don't forget, UNLV is playing here in a little bit. BYU is playing tonight. Broncos play Monday. Nuggets play tomorrow. Avalanche, I think, play tomorrow too, if I remember right. But anyway, check your schedules. We'll be talking about all of them anyway, no matter what. For Colin Zanker and Joe Goodwin, I'm Nick Archuleta. This has been Undrafted, Uncensored. Thank you, Michael Spiller, and everybody over at e5280sports.com for hosting us. And thank you to Pikes Peak Sports Cards, our sponsor. We love you guys. Have a great one. Hopefully you had a happy Thanksgiving. And let's go sports.
As play tonight versus Edmonton.
Tonight. All right.
Quack.